Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another weigh-in update video. So today's video is going to be a check-in about how my weigh-in went for this last couple of weeks and if I achieved my goal of maintaining, not gaining during the month of December. Also give you a little life update and then kind of what you expect to see from here on out. This is kind of going to tie in with my goals video a little bit. So if you have not watched my goals video, I will have it linked down below. So you make sure you check that out so you kind of know what I'm talking about in this video. So first, as you guys know, we're actually going to start with the weigh-in. Where typically in these videos I kind of talk about my week and then we go into the weigh-in. But because the month of December I had a goal of maintaining, not gaining, I gave myself a 2 pound, 1 to 2 pound kind of window because you never know. We all know that our bodies are very crazy and finicky, and depending on what's going on, sometimes our weight can fluctuate 1 to 2 pounds on a daily basis. So I wanted to give myself a little bit of a buffer, but the whole point of the goal was to just make myself aware and be mindful about my choices. And it definitely worked. I think piggybacking it onto my November challenge and then going around to that December challenge, I think really helped me stay focused and, like I said, be very mindful. So when I weighed in on Wednesday, which I did not weigh in last week because it was right in the middle of, you know, the holidays and all of that, and I was just busy, and I just made the choice. And that was, if you guys remember, lots going on between work functions, home functions, those kind of things, and it was just kind of a crazy one. When I weighed in this Wednesday, I was exactly to the ounce, the exact same as when I weighed in December 1st. I mean, I'm not even kidding you guys, to the ounce. So it was very interesting, which, if you guys remember, I did have some losses. I think I lost like 2.2, 1.6, and like 0.2 the first part of December. So I did have a little bit of buffer. So I did gain these last 2 weeks. But the fact that I was this last week, I was super aware of what was going on and again, being just very mindful of what I was doing. And that's where anything I did gain over that Christmas week, then I definitely lost this week. So, plus I have, you know, lovely time of the month PMS really bad right now, and it's kind of doing what it did last time, where it's been like 10 days of that and nothing. So this is just what's been going on with me with that. So that's not very helpful either. But like I said, at least I achieved my goal for the month of December, and it's really making me feel good about going into January. And so again, now this is where this is going to tie in with my January goals. So what are we going to see here on out? I am going to be changing some things. We're going to see some really huge changes in what I'm going to be doing. Nothing major as far as my plan. Still sticking with Weight Watchers, still going to double track with Weight Watchers, track my macros, protein focused, those kind of things. What I'm talking about, huge changes I want to make, again, like with my goals video, I talked about wanting to rededicate myself to so many aspects of my life. My word is actually dedication, and in that video I talk about how that word kind of chose me. So when I started reflecting on that again these last couple of days since I've even filmed that video, one of the things I kept thinking about, what did I do so well back in the day? Like, I was so successful when I first started this journey, when I first started Weight Watchers. I was so successful. And one of the things I think that I was so successful was because I really went from, just eating a terrible diet to eating a good one. So you're always going to have a really good result when you have been doing so many bad things and you're just starting your journey and that kind of thing. So you're always going to see good results then. But for one thing, I was more disciplined, and I was more I just did it. Just did the program. I was disciplined. I was consistent. I didn't try to do anything fancy. I really was just doing the basics because it was so brand new to me. I barely heard of Weight Watchers. You know, you just kind of hear about it. I not really knew anything about it. So I was really just focused on doing the program. And I think that has been my problem, is that I'm trying to do too many things. I'm trying to make, trying to just make it too complicated. That's the word I'm trying to find. It has definitely been, I'm trying to do too many things that are complicated. I think it doesn't help that with YouTube, I feel like I need to be much more creative to be interesting to you guys. But again, as I have gotten to know a lot of you and just reading your comments, and I know that you guys all understand the struggle, and I feel like I don't have to do that fancy stuff for you guys to be still following along and, motivating each other and, going along in your journey as well. You guys don't want complicated things. You don't want me to use ingredients that you can't maybe find in your area. Or, I have a lot of Canadian followers, and I'm always hearing from people that you guys can't find some of those products in Canada. And, or just, you guys don't have the time or the resources to do some of the things that I'm doing. So I thought about that a lot, and I was thinking, I need to go back to the basics. And that's kind of like what I wrote down in my notes here, is that I want to go back to the basics. And I'm talking about things like just basic meals, using my basic kitchen tools that really helped me back then, my kitchen scale, really utilizing my air fryer. I mean, there's just certain things, certain like foods that I ate back then that I just kept it simple, and I just did it. I didn't have to make it so complicated. I just did my thing. I just ate my meals that sounded good to me. I made it simple. There wasn't all this complicated stuff. And I really want to go back to the basics. And I'm actually going to turn this all into a whole series that I feel like is going to be helpful to anyone, even if you're not on Weight Watchers. If you're someone who follows me and you're doing keto or low carb, or you're just counting your macros and your calories, I feel like even these back to the basics would be helpful, because you could just look at your own journey, like when maybe you were more successful than you are now. What are you doing differently? Are you trying to make it too complicated? So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm definitely going to be going back to the basics. It's going to take me a while to get back into it. I think we all have habits that you have to break first before you can create these new habits. One of the things that I'm going to do, and I talked about in my goals video also, is I'm going to be doing some monthly goals. I realized in November and December, setting those goals for myself, even they were just as simple as they were, they really, really motivated me. It was something to look forward to every day, something to check off my list every day. And I really found it to be so super helpful and motivating. So definitely going to be doing monthly goals. I'm also, something that I'm going to be doing that I have never done before, that I really wish I had done previously, and that's doing actually full body like pictures. I don't have like a full length mirror, so what I'm thinking about doing, and I won't be sharing this is only going to be for me, unless I feel super comfortable as my progress starts showing, and then I will share them. It's just right now it's a personal thing, a personal journey. I feel like I need to gain some confidence again before I'm comfortable sharing that kind of thing. I feel like otherwise my confidence definitely is just not there to be sharing it. But what I think I'm going to do is set up my tripod and just take a video of me like standing out, just like I have a Christmas tree here now, but as soon as that Christmas tree is gone, I have an empty wall there. And I'm thinking I'm just going to set up my tripod and just stand and just hopefully have it set up to where I can get a full body. And then I can, I'm gonna wear the same outfit and then just do it every month. And then I'm gonna see if I can see progress. And I think that's gonna really help, because that's one thing you hear all the time is people talking about doing progress pictures. And I always just thought, well, I'm on YouTube, but it really just only shows my face. So I really wish I had done that back in the day before I lost, 50 pounds before this point. I have just a couple of pictures and that's it. I was definitely very camera shy back then because I was aware of how I looked and how I felt. But I'm going to kind of break myself out of that comfort zone, and I'm going to do that. I think knowing that it's just for me for now, I'm going to feel okay about it. And we'll just see how that progresses. But I am going to make sure I do it every month. So it'll be the first of every month. So I'm going to do that this weekend so I can get, figure out which outfit to get. Like, I'm kind of like you know, kind of stuck on that too. Like I don't want to wear really leggings because the leggings I have really kind of suck in my stomach. I want it, so maybe I can just wear them kind of below my stomach. I don't know. And then I'm just thinking of like a tank top because then it would show my arms, and I plan on just doing different like poses just to kind of just show where I can see any progress at all. And I'm doing that for a couple of reasons. One, because I'm hoping it'll boost my confidence when I can really see some progress. Two, I'm terrible at doing measurements. And I figure this way, you can do measurements all you want, but if you're not actually physically seeing it, then I feel like the measurements are not going to be as good for my confidence, like to boost my confidence as a picture would. Because I've done measurements before and really felt like, oh, I still don't feel like, where did those, 6 inches come off of, I mean, it came off of different places all over my body, but if I can actually see it in a picture or video, then I feel like I'm going to feel a lot better about myself. So those are some big changes that I'm going to be doing. Again, it won't be much different for you guys except for I will just not be, I'm still going to be doing my same what I ate video, my meal prep, my grocery hauls, but they just may not be as exciting because again, I'm just really going back to the basics. But I still like to be a very creative person in the kitchen. So I still feel like I want to still share different recipes with you and that kind of thing, but just may not be so many throughout the week. I may just come up with like one thing I want to maybe be creative with during the week, and then the rest of the time it's just going to be some bare basics. Like seriously, I'm thinking about looking back at some of my old videos and seeing like what I ate back then. What did I do that I was so successful at? And I really just think it's because I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just doing the program. I didn't let anything else get in my way. And I truly think that's why I was so successful. But I think that's, and also now a little life update. Now we get all that stuff out of the way. So for those of you who watch my daily videos, used to be daily videos, not so daily anymore, but we're gonna work on that. But for those of you who know the whole saga of my husband's job, so we finally have a start date. He'll be starting work on January 3rd, on Wednesday. So this coming Wednesday. It'll be January 3rd because his schedule is going to be Wednesday through Saturday. So they're having him start Wednesday. Here is this has been going on for a long time. So for those of you who don't know, he had his first interview on November 17th. He had a drive test on November 19th. The guy told him at that time he was going to tell HR he wanted to hire him because he passed the drive test, and everything else. So he wanted to hire him. He said it can take a long time, especially now at that time it was coming up with Thanksgiving. And so he said, you may hear something Friday or it may not be till Monday before Thanksgiving. And so we didn't hear anything that Monday. Finally on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, my husband called him again. Or maybe he called over at the department. I think he called him. He called him again because at that point he didn't know who to call at the department. So he called him. And he said that he would get a hold of them and push them, but it could take a long time. So I think that was actually on a Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Then on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, she called him and told him that she wanted him to come in that next Monday after Thanksgiving. So she did. And he came in there. He did his paperwork. So that was on the 28th of November. Then we heard nothing. So he just continued to call in and check in because being on unemployment, we have to check in with the employer in order to get it. So he would call like once a week. And if you guys remember, at one point, they told us they were just waiting for one more thing from his employer, one of his previous employers. We didn't know what that thing was. So finally, last Monday, trying to think of, not this Monday, so it's like the Monday before of Christmas, the Monday before Christmas, he called and she said they're actually waiting for because he's a truck driver, they have to get what's called a DOT release form. So it's basically a form that's saying he never had any positive drug and alcohol tests, never had any safety issues, those kind of things. One of his employers hadn't returned it yet, and they had to do with the last 3 years of work. So it was 2 employers. So one of them turned it in. The other one, they say never turned it in. And so he called down there to the place and they said, well, let's check on that. We'll check on that for you and call you back. They called back and they said that they did turn it in. And so he tried to call her back to tell her that, oh no, he did call her back, got a hold of her at his new employer. And she said, oh, great, thank you for doing that. I'll call HR and make sure they got it. And then I'll give you a call back and we'll set up a time for you to come in. So then on Tuesday, we didn't hear anything. She said she'd call back Monday afternoon or Tuesday morning. So Tuesday afternoon after lunch, he calls over there. She was not in the office. She was out for the day. So then she finally called him back because he kept calling on Wednesday. And she finally called him back and she said, well, HR is still saying they didn't get it. So he called down to his other employer again and they said, yes, we did do it. And we even called to confirm with HR that they received it and they said they did. So then he tried to call her back and she was doing payroll or something, and so didn't call him back. And then so on Thursday, so then Wednesday he's like, I'm just going to call HR myself then and find out. And that made him either Wednesday or Thursday. He said, I'm just going to call HR myself. So he did. He called on Thursday, Wednesday night or Thursday. And anyways, we did not expect to get an answer back. And he called us back like at 6 o'clock at night. And he said that, yes, he did get it. He said, good news, he did get it, but he didn't get it till that day that my husband called the other employer when they claimed they already had sent it. And we think that they did not send it until he actually called them and talked to them. And so he said he did get it, but there was some bad news. Them at HR sent the wrong form. They sent only one of the two forms that needed to go out. He said, however, it was their mistake. So as long as he could get a driving record sent to them, because that was the next step was a driving record, which luckily you can order those online in Oregon. So we were able to order it online. We emailed it over to him. He emailed back almost right away. So we're talking like 8 o'clock at night that he emailed back and he said he received it. The driving record was the correct one, and he was going to email the department and let them know that he was saying that we could go ahead and go with the hire, because they could within 30 days they can get that other form back from the other employers. And so again, he goes, you should hear something back Thursday or Friday from the department to come in and do paperwork. So we wait again. Now we come back to this week. I may be a little bit off on my timeline. So we come back to this week. Monday, hear nothing. It's a holiday though, because it's the day that they observe Christmas. So we wait till Tuesday, wait till after lunch, hear nothing. So he calls her and she goes, well, I think we're waiting for something else. No, we were not. He's like, well, I got an email from HR that said we're going to go, could go ahead. She goes, well, let me just call and confirm. So she did. We thought we're never going to hear back from her, but she did. She called. So he went down yesterday, did the rest of the paperwork, found out his hire date, and he starts on Wednesday. So what a freaking saga. Now, the original hire date, which he didn't know this because he did not read the letter, said it was December 21st. I had no idea. If I had known that that was when they were projecting him to start to begin with, I wouldn't have been so pushy with him to call them, because obviously they expected it to take a long process because they have to get this stuff back from other employers. If I had known that, then I would have felt a little bit better about it, but I didn't know that. And even when he went in this last time, he didn't look at the date again. And I was like, well, you need to call him and find out. So he called him, and that's when I found out it's on Wednesday. So he had to go take some other paperwork back yesterday afternoon that he had to fill out and take it back. So we're done. He starts on Wednesday. I go back to work on Tuesday. He goes back on Wednesday, and hopefully life is just good from now on. So anyway, there's the saga of that. Sorry, that was like kind of a long drawn out. I had to stop and start because I kept thinking my dates were wrong. So I could be a little bit off on my timeline. Basically, we've been doing this since November 17th, and it's been a comedy of errors from other people. We've done everything the day everything was sent to us. And so it's just been between one employer and the new employer, it's just been a nightmare, and we're just glad it's over with and he's starting work. And what's been nice is that at least these last couple of weeks we've got to spend a lot of time together because he's been off work, but it's been a little bit stressful during this time because literally, like I said, we did not find out everything until yesterday, you know. So I'm filming this on Friday, and this was like Wednesday. Well, so it was Wednesday that he went and did the paperwork. So that was like, you know, we have not been, it's just been a little stressful, not knowing what was going on. So anywho, that saga's over. I'm feeling really good about this year. I feel like now that he's going into a good job, and I'm feeling a lot more better about rededicating myself to my journey and just getting back out there and going back to the basics and back to the whole core of what I want to do to begin with. I feel like we're gonna see some real progress. I'm gonna not, you know, like I said, I'm older now than I was back then. I don't weigh as much as I did back then. So I feel like I'm not gonna see like a huge losses right away, but I really think that I'm gonna really see some good progress, and I'm gonna be really happy about that. So anyway, there's updates, weigh-in update, life update, what is yet to come for this year, and I don't think I have anything else to share. So we will be back to normally scheduled programming. You'll see a grocery haul on a Sunday, meal prep on Monday, maybe Tuesday, because Monday is a holiday for us, and so it may not be till Tuesday, but we're going back to the basic stuff. So we have grocery haul, meal prep, what I eat in the day, weigh-ins, and then I'll be doing, like I said, that back to the basics series. So you'll see one of those videos every other week or so for the first couple of months until I run out of ideas for that. So lots to come. If you guys have anything else that you guys would like me to talk about or a video to share, let me know in the comment box. I'm always happy to do any sort of video that you guys want me to do, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.